Hello there. In this video presentation, I am going to discuss to you the lesson 3 of EDUC 50, which is entitled The Development of the Learner. So in the past lesson, we discussed about the basic concepts behind growth, development, and maturation. You also learned about quantitative changes and qualitative changes that are happening within our body that contribute to the development of a person. And remember that development may happen with or without growth, no? And we also have maturation. In maturation, it changes both in quantitative and qualitative aspect. It comes along with growth, development, and experiences. Now, going back to our next lesson, I will show you the contents of this PowerPoint presentation. So here we're going to discuss the principles of growth and development, the factors affecting growth and development, and lastly, the parenting styles. So, development of the learner undergoes a complicated process, a pattern of growth that is unique in every individual. So, the first principle that we're going to discuss about growth and development is the involvement of nature and nurture. So, when we say nature, it is influenced by our genetics, no? So, it is shown in our physical appearances and biological influences. So development is influenced by both heredity, that's our nature, and our environment or the nurture. So in terms of nurture, it is influenced by environment depending in the upbringing of our family, of our friends, or the social influence of them towards us. So for the second one is growth and development is a continuous process. So as a child develops, he or she adds to the skill already acquired, and the new skills become the basis for further achievement and mastery of skills. So most children follow a similar pattern that is similar with what I gave you last time, no? I described that an infant will learn first how to crawl before they will be able to creep and to walk alone. The third one is development proceeds from head downward. So this follow the cephalocaudal principle. So as you can notice in the picture, you have there an infant showing an arrow from head downward. So the child gains control of the head first, then the arms, and then the legs. So this is an example of development following cephalocaudal principle. So I have here another figure showing the cephalocaudal gradient of growth. So there is an axis of increased growth extending from the head towards the feet. So this figure is an schematic representation of the changes in an overall body proportions during normal growth and development. So after the third month of fetal life, the proportion of total body size contributed by the head and face steadily decline. So as you can notice, you have there, no, this is a 2-month fetus. You can see that the head is 50% of his body proportion. And after a few months, it will now be 25% of the body proportion. And as they are given birth, still near to 25%. And as he age, no, the body proportion of the head is steadily declining. Next is development proceeds from the center of the body downward. So this follows the principle of proximal distal development. So as you can notice in the infant, it has arrows representing the flow of development from him. So it starts from the midline. The development starts from within, internal, towards the outer part of the body. So as an example, it means that the spinal cord develops before the outer parts of the body first. So another image showing the relationship between cephalocaudal development, again that's from head to foot, and the proximal distal development from midline first to extremities or the outer part of the body. The fifth one is the development depends on maturation and learning. So biological changes occur in sequential order and give children new abilities. So remember, in learning, it has different perspective. The last time that we discussed learning, we dealt with the behavioral perspective. No? So what about in cognitive perspective, wherein it uses mental processes? So talking about the logic of a child, they can understand first what is concrete or visible within their eyes before they can understand what is abstract. So that is development. So in relation to that, number 6, development proceeds from the simple, that's concrete, to more complex. So children use their cognitive and language skills to reason and solve problems. Number 7, growth and development proceed from general to specific. So talking in motor development, the infant will be able to grasp an object with whole hand before using only the thumb and the forefinger. So that is shown in the picture above. Starting from the palmar grasp, next is to the intermediate, next is what we call the mature holding of a cube, and the next one is the pincher holding of a cube, wherein they use their pointing finger and their thumb to hold the cube. Growth occurs from large muscle movements to more refined movements to more refined or even smaller muscle movements. So I have here a typical development of pencil grasp in children. So let us start with this 10-month-old way of holding a cube. So this is called pincer grasp. Next is the 12 to 15-month-old way of holding a pencil. This is called palmar supinate grasp. Next is digital pronate grasp. Next is the quadruped grasp that can be seen between 3 to 4-year-old. And lastly, we have the tripod grasp, wherein the child is using 3 fingers in holding a pencil. So this is visible to some kinder students and grade 1 students. Okay, next is number 8. There are individual rates of growth and development. Although the patterns and sequences for growth and development are usually the same for all children, the rates at which children reach developmental stages will be different. So those are the 8 principles of growth and development. Now we're going to move on to the second part of this video presentation. We have factors that influence growth and development. So the first factor that influences our growth and development is heredity, or what we call the nature. Heredity is the process of transmitting biological traits from parents to offspring through their genes. So genes are the basic units of heredity. Next, we have conception. When we say conception, it is the act of being pregnant. So it may be monozygotic. It is when a single fertilized ovum divides into two. So identical twins will be born. They have the same genetic makeup and always the same sex. In dizygotic, there will be two egg cells that will be fertilized by two different sperm cells. So when two ova are fertilized, ovum divides into two. Fraternal twins will be born, so they have different genetic makeup and they may be different sexes. The second factor that influences growth and development is the environment or the nurture. It refers to the surrounding condition that influences growth and development. So I have here a simple figure showing the relationship between nature and nurture, talking about sex and gender. So under nature, sex differences result from innate differences between female and male that is influenced by genes, chromosomes, and hormones. And under nurture, gender differences result from the different experiences that females and males have as they develop. So that is influenced by learning from family, peers, and society. The third one is medical conditions. So children born with or develop serious medical conditions can have stunted growth if not treated. Examples of which are heart, kidney, or liver ailments. There are Ritalin. These are drugs or medicines that can be prescribed for an ADHD child. But the Ritalin has an adverse effect on the growth of a child. Naalala ko dati, meron akong naging estudyante na confirmed ADHD student. So, para maiwasan na magkaroon siya ng mataas na energy level, ang pwede natin gawin is bawasan siya ng pagkaing mayaman sa glucose. Example ay kanin. Mataas yun sa glucose kasi yun ay plant-based source of food. So, yung mga parents niya ay binibigyan na lang siya sa halip ng alternative sa kanin. Kasi pag gumamit sila ng Ritalin para mabawasan ang energy level ng anak nila, pwedeng maapektuhan naman yung kanyang growth. Number 4 is exercise. There should be the right amount of exercise for each student for them to use the energy stored within them. Okay, so regular physical activity promotes growth by strengthening bones and muscle. So playing is an example or a form of exercise. That is why let us give children enough time to play. So in a day, we can let them play outside for 1 hour. So try natin na they use their physical and motor skills. Number 5 is sleep. So about 70 to 80% of growth hormone is secreted during sleep. That is according to Dr. Paul Sanger. So an average person must have 8 to 10 hours of sleep. So as you notice, tingnan niyo yung mga tao na nakatira sa malalamig na lugar na kung saan sila yung mga mas madalas natutulog. No? Sila yung mga mas matatangkad at malalaking tao. Because according nga kay Dr. Paul Sanger is nakita nila na mas maraming growth hormone ang napoproduce ng katawan natin during the time of sleep. No? So I recommend and the scientists recommend na we should have enough time of sleep every day. Hindi rin effective yung magpupuyat ka, tapos babawiin mo siya kinabukasan.